Check, check. Welcome in, guys. Thanks for being here on time. As always, I appreciate it. Give a couple more minutes like usual, let people see the message. If you guys can't stay long or whatever, get your requests in. Kath, good to see you. Brian, good to see you. See NVIDIA. Yep, NVIDIA's on my list too, brother. We will definitely look at that one. Write it down, so that's first on the list. Definitely a few names. A lot of stuff, just in general, markets usually move together, generally speaking. So a lot of setups look the same, but NVIDIA and a couple others stand out. I'll just wait to see what people request before I give too much bias. Oh, Finis Futures, good to have you. Week was pretty quiet. Didn't do a whole lot. Worked on my Forerunner a little bit. Did some small upgrade stuff. Cleaned the house a little bit. Went for a run. Kind of just some old man stuff. Didn't really do much. Hope your guys' weekend was good though. Yeah, we'll give it just a little bit. One more premium ping here in a minute, and then we'll dive in. I anticipate the Sunday class being a little bit smaller going forward. Just we got the mastermind going on. I can't remember how many weeks that is, but that pulls a few people because I think it actually starts 8 p.m. Eastern as well. But Yeah. Yep, another request for NVIDIA. We'll definitely look at that one. We're going to start out SPY QQQ, get you guys a game plan as always, and we'll definitely dive in. So, yeah, all the recordings are posted. Username, his name is a Joe named Joe. He's in charge of pulling them off Zoom and putting them in the Discord. Not that's a hard, fast rule, but we kind of want people to get them posted within 24 hours would be great, 48 hours at the minimum. That way, a class like this, people got to leave or if they want to watch it tomorrow, sometime it still makes sense. If stuff's getting posted 2 weeks later, it doesn't really help us. So hopefully we get them all posted for you guys on time. But we have lives outside of OOT, so sometimes things get busy. But yeah, everything's always getting recorded. All right, guys, one more premium ping and we'll dive in. All right. As always, guys, it's Sunday Scam. My name is StartedWith. I'm glad to have you guys here for another week of education, another week of charts. Hopefully, you guys get something out of it. Hopefully, you guys learn something. It's always a little bit of charting, a little bit of education. Just some insights, some perspective. Everyone's going to chart different. This is how I do things. So if you guys have questions, definitely put it in the chat. If we have smaller classes, I usually we'll let people unmute their mics or give you guys the ability to do that if that's easier for you guys than typing. We can definitely do that. Just be respectful of other people's time, stuff like that. But with that, you guys, we're going to dive right in. Like I said, I like to start with SPY and QQQ. As we're sitting now, SPY, we're kind of sitting at 538. So if this holds, small gap up. I'm leaving our drawing set from last week because I think it's going to play very well into what we talked about last week and into this week as well. And if you guys remember, not bragging, just a little recap on what we talked about. Remember how I talked about how we get super far extended from these EMAs here? So this is the daily 9. Lo and behold, just kind of funny how the markets work, whether it's conspiracy or not. Tons of fear down here. We're super far from this daily 9, and boom, what do? We get some news on tariff pauses, stuff like that. And so back up to it. It's just, to me, it's just kind of funny when you're patient and you see stuff like this. We get super far below, super far extended. We usually retrace back into it, and whether it holds or not this week or a couple days, we will see. But just something to take note, because I know we talked about that last week many times. Zoom user Tesla, yep, it's on my list as well of one I wanted someone to request. So NVIDIA, Tesla for sure. I see what fitness is typed as well. We'll go over that when we get to it. But first, guys, SPY, SPY, S&P 500. To me, I'm kind of focusing on two zones here this week. So 525 is literally the middle. I'm calling 550 our top until it's not. And kind of this lower 495 to 500 our lower range. And right in the middle here is our middle zone. So I'm playing this week and I'm turning my focus onto two zones. So zone 1, I'm not going to draw where we want to build our game plan, but zone 1 is up here. So anything over 525, I'm looking for a push to 550 this week. Any sells under 525 this week, and this range is my bottom focus for the week. Doesn't mean, okay, we sell 525, on Monday we're going to get to 495. Obviously, we've seen the moves we have. It's very possible, but I'm kind of treating it in two sections here because when we see, just let's focus on this 525 zone. We see this pre-market action here from Friday, not 2 days ago, but Friday, that'd be 9 days ago. We see when we give up that 525, how it triggers a hard sell in a bearish day. And he pushes up there and it's met with selling pressure. Last Tuesday, push up to it, damn near to the penny, maybe exactly to the penny. And, sellers just say, no, we're not going over 525 today. No, sir. Sell down, sell pressure, continuous selling on the day. It took us news to get over that trigger, over that 525. We sold down into it Thursday, ultimately bought back up, closed it, regular session hours, a little bit after our sell-off. And then Friday, we could see you guys this battle here at 525 as I zoom in here on why I think this is just, to me, it's the level to watch this week. Obviously, if we open at 538, we're a bit from that, but that is my game plan, is treat all dips into 525, whether it's tomorrow, this week, or a month, anytime in this range, that is my focus. And we can see when we push up to this upper range, how much selling pressure kicks in when we get up to that 550. We sold down after hours back here a week or two ago. Pre-market tried pushing up and selling pressure. Okay. We can see when we look back a little bit in history, how when we're over 550, how it's bounced, which is a support. So when we're over something, we treat that as support over and over and over. We sell under. This now turns green to red, is now resistance. So resistance, resistance. And that is my game plan this week on SPY. Does that make sense to everybody on how I would trade this? Day trade, swings, whatever it is, that is my range. So, once again, we open here at 538. Say we don't look back on any of this zone here this week. As we trickle up and push, you guys better be trimming as we hit this red zone. 550, absolutely. There's no way I'm catching a move here. Let's just say tomorrow at 538, we push up to 550 and I haven't trimmed yet. That is stupid trading. That's greedy trading. That's it's very, very bad trading habits. And if I see screenshots, I guess I don't know your position size, but if someone's holding a big position and I see something later in the chat, it's like, oh man, I was up, 130% and I'm up 40%. What do I sell here? And it's like, if you give me your entry and I can see that you held through this, that's just bad trading. That's greedy. Huge zone, you guys. Always zoom out. Always look out. Look left. Looking left on the chart, we're here. You look left. It always tells you, where do we sell? I see it every day in the chat. That's fine. There's people new. There's people learning. Always sell where price action tells you. If we're going up, last time we went up, where do we get rejections? This 549 to 550 pocket, okay? For me, you guys know how I trade. I do not trade percents. I do not go, okay, I'm up 25%. I think that's a good sell spot. No, I know on the chart. I look left. And if I push up here, I'm at 25%. It lines up with that. Perfect. I'll take my gains. But I'm always playing the chart. How do you decide, Jacob, how do you decide which levels to keep on your chart for SPY? Do you base off bigger time frames? Great question. Keep smaller intraday levels. I find my charts way too many. So the cool thing, you guys, my quick sales speech or pitch on Thinkorswim. Down here, you guys, in this lower right-hand corner, the really awesome thing about Thinkorswim, and I don't know if any other brokers do it, maybe TradingView, I'm not sure. Robinhood needs to implement it. Webull needs to implement it, but we can make layers. So if you guys are like, hey, I can't see this chart, can you make a new chart? Sure, I can. Create drawing set, I think. Let's call it tonight. I can type. Boom, clear drawing set. It's set as tonight, and we can start working from there. So great question. It kind of answers your question. That's the cool thing about Thinkorswim. Probably one of the things I like the most, other than, other layouts and stuff like that. But that's what I love going off of. And the better part of your question, Jacob, is, yeah, I start on the 1 hour or the 4 hour. So we're on the 1 hour now. And basically, if you haven't been to my lectures before or know how I chart and trade, I look for swings in the market. So basically, I guess I can just do it. Going back to a fresh chart, like if this is day one of your trading journey, I literally tell people to look for swings in the market. So we're pushing up here, we reject down here. We come down into here, we build a low and we bounce. We come up, we reject, we come back into that low and sell. So I'm basically looking for movements, just big waves, big moves in the market like this. This is just for education purposes or demonstration. Okay, and then let me go to drawing mode. It's gonna be a little funky here just for a second. And then look at these levels here, and I'm looking at this level here, and I hover over with my crosshairs, and I go, okay, does this level make sense? We pushed up here, we rejected. As I hover over, I'm looking left right here, and I go, okay, we rejected here at basically 548.50. Why did we reject there? Well, that's this big pocket of zone here, so I mark a level. Bottom side levels here. I see this will be easier, self-explanatory. It's like we push down again, and we start seeing buyback over here. So I hover over here, down to these wicks. I go, does it make sense? Well, obviously you only have to look back 2 days and you go, okay, there's price action here. If we grab this level here, why are we rejecting this level here? Well, that's all this pre-market level here. We can see we push up, it was resistance going back to that comment I had. And now we're back. And what is resistance? Resistance is now support in this level here. So Jacob, send me a DM if you need some more help on charting, but that's just the quick rough and dirty way how I do. I look for the big waves in the market, big pushes up, big pushes down. When we push up, where to reject, why reject, and that's literally how I trade on a chart. So like you'll see sometime tonight when we get a request, it's maybe not big tech. Last week we had like waste management, WM. I haven't charted that one before, so it's a fresh chart. That's literally how I do it and how I start charting with that. But great question. All right, going back to this game plan. If there's no other questions on SPY, we're going to go to QQQ. Yeah, Thinkorswim is just it's amazing. So what I'll do, I'll have different stuff out. So like I'll draw like Fibonacci's on a different layer. I'll have my B bands on a different layer. And I have also, this is, if you look up here, it says full screen OOT. This is the template I use every single week for you guys. It just has less stuff on it because I don't think we need to chart with Bollinger Bands and other stuff. And, sometimes VWAP is important, but I just want to get it as basic as I can when I'm trying to show you guys some charting, some levels. We don't need to have a bunch of indicators on it. So, I have different chart layers, I guess, or chart layouts as well that you can do as well. Thank you. So it's really awesome. QQQ, similar setup, you guys, similar thesis. Nope, I'm still on SPY. Sorry. QQQ, this green zone for me, you guys, I went ahead and kind of marked it out just to speed up class a little bit. This green zone here, after or before this couple weeks ago, the sell through here, this zone here looks the same and lines up with summer of last year. So I went back, almost a year ago. Like I said, I never delete my lines. That was kind of our bounce, our pivot zone here. And so I think that's a good level to give you guys for this week to build a plan. So some levels here, if you guys are following along, like I always say, screenshot them. I mean, people are always asking for levels. Every week I give you the free levels right in front of you guys. It's, we're not gatekeeping. We're a team here. This is the levels I trade off of that I stick with but with that, you guys, 452 to 454 is kind of my little pocket. We can call it demand, we can call it support, whatever we want to do, but any holds over that level, I think we need to stay bullish on it because we can see a push up here, consolidation from that tweet of tariff pauses. We pushed up, we built support off of that. Thursday, a battle here. If I went to a smaller time frame, we could see a battle here. We sell down, we push up. Let me zoom in a little bit more for you guys. So I'm on the 1 hour. Each one of these candles is a 1 hour. So we sell through it, we buy back up. Candle opens, we buy back up, we sell down, candle closes here. It is now resistance, resistance, resistance. Even in the pre-market Friday, resistance. What do we do Friday afternoon? Push up, sell down, rejection, sell through it. Buyers said, no, we're pushing, we're buying, we're taking over, obviously in hindsight, but consolidation, basically a battle here at this level here. So that is my focus this week. See if I can zoom here and not make it too messy here. That is my focus this week, is anything over 454, whether we test it this week, whether we test on Thursday or whatever, or we push, we don't look back. That is my focus. So any holds over, any dips and a hold or dip bounce, take your calls off this level here and look for this upper range here, similar to that SPY 550. I'm looking this week, hopefully we don't, open too high on pre-market if you don't have calls already, because we can get a little bit of this price action, but 467 and kind of that 469 is my upper range pocket up here. So again, use this as our floor, as our support, and stick to it until it's not. Any sells under, and I think we start seeing these levels down here. Does that make sense to everybody on why really this price action from Thursday, it really kind of makes it easy on us? Again, looking for that flow of the market, flow of the price action. Where does price gravitate towards? And it's this green pocket here, and we're over it. We treat as support. We sell through it. It is now resistance, meaning any sells under, you look for price action like this. So a sell under, a retest on, you grab your puts, and you want to see price action like this from last week. QQQ, does that make sense to anybody? Hopefully I'm not going too quick. Yeah, Andrew, we can look at SPX for you, for sure, definitely. because I think there's a couple levels I had triggered for that that did trigger. They would kind of line up with this thesis as well, for sure. Kind of same topic. Kath, yeah, pay attention to my tab. I mean, not bragging about it. That's what my tab is all about. Cheaper contracts. IV is a little bit high, so contracts are sometimes $130, $130, 140. But everything in my tab is literally, when it's not super high IV, when the VIX is down, I'd say like below 30, all my contract selections or suggestions and trade ideas are like $100 or less. And they have time. So definitely, just pay attention to my commentary on my tab. Send me a DM if you have questions on stuff. If we have time tonight, I'll definitely go over some names in a small port tab for sure for you, because there's Disney, KO, Norwegian Cruise Lines I definitely want to talk about if we have time. Quickly, let's touch on SPX because it's similar topic that we're talking about right now. Was it Andrew? Yeah, Andrew, kind of same thing. My line in the sand, as we talked about, I think is that 525 on SPY. So on SPX, that's kind of that 5290. 5290 to 5300, that little pocket there. We can kind of see that price action there. We get over that. Same thing. Sell down, never made it back over. Friday, 9 days ago, push up, reject, reject. Thursday, Friday price action, that was focused around that 5,300. So 5,300 along with our daily 9 moving average that is curling here. That is this purple line. That's a 9 moving average based on, the daily 9. That is now, as of now, it's going to curl under. So that's another form of support. So a lot of fear in the markets lately, but bulls, they got some stuff working for them. 5,300 and a daily 9 curling under. That's some good news if you want to be bullish in this market, whether it's for swings or day trades. A lot to look forward to there, definitely. All right, on to the watch list. First one, NVIDIA. NVIDIA is giving us a very nice trade opportunity. We'll see where this after hours action holds, but for me, you guys, 110. 110.23, 110.25-ish. That is kind of the same, the same theme of the night. Any holds over that, we can see a zoomed in look here. Let's look at our price action from Thursday, or actually Wednesday. Again, tariff news, big battle here, a little bit consolidation on that 1 hour. Push up, retest, breakout. Thursday, failed to hold. What did it do? When we released on 110, selling pressure all day, selling pressure. Bounced the daily 9. Duh, makes sense. Support here. Push back up. Battle 110 all day. 110, 110, 110. Obviously, we went higher, but you can see the focus is this area right in here, 110. So that is my focus on NVIDIA this week. Brian and somebody else requested that. I'm losing track of the chat here, but that's my focus. So if we believe this price action, if this holds here, what do? We build a game plan. So this is our lowest risk here for calls. We may not get that test tomorrow. We may not get this week, but not all hope is lost. Look at where that wick closed there at 113. That's not an accident. Look at this price action here, battling down. We sell through, how it triggered a sell. Not an accident. Look where this candle opened. Not an accident. You get the point. So any opens over 113, you guys, just for, I guess, this class, you guys have to decide your risk. What I would do as far as a risk profile, if you take calls off 113, is I would go down to probably a 15-minute time frame. Let's see if I can do this without screwing up the charts too much. And I'm looking left at price action here at 113. So to build a game plan, you guys have a reasonable stop loss. Again, I don't like random percent stops. If I enter at 113, this would be my stop loss for anybody following along that wants this trade. As long as we hold these candles here, so I'm going to color this, let's color this green because that is our support. Extend it, what's today, 13th, extend it to the 15th. Oops, not 115. Just so you guys can visualize what I'm talking about. So I know this is Wednesday last week, but I'm just showing you guys how I build a trade in real time. So, we're pushing up over here. Obviously, like I showed you, I'll zoom left or to the right a little bit. We're going to play the call bounce off 113, and I'm using this as our stop out zone. Okay, why is this our stop out zone? So we see how this little candle cluster here is acting as support. Once it's over, every retest into that, it is now support. Any retest into that is support, gave way resistance, sold through. Come back into here, a little bit of support, okay? So that is why that would be my reasonable stop, on quick charting for you guys in NVIDIA. So again, any test into 113, that's a fairly safe buy the dip. So you take puts and you ride puts and you sell most of your puts here. You can leave a runner, or if you're late to puts, don't watch a $2 move down and go, okay, like I say every week, don't say, okay, move down $2. Now I want to get puts here at support, and then it bounces. You're like, oh man, 40% loss. What am I doing? And they keep bouncing, and then you start seeing something like flips is like, oh, 65% on calls, and here you are still in your puts, averaging all the way up. No, zoom out, you guys, find your support here. So anything off 113, this is a reasonable stop. This is probably, I don't know quick math, but that's probably 20% or less on a stop loss. That's a very reasonable percent. But any sell under that, we see what the price action does when we sell under 113. I would color this red, and I would take puts, and any bounce retest, I would treat that as a put play, a bearish play for NVIDIA. Does that make sense? Okay. Kath, do we base SPY on if market is weak or strong? Absolutely. That is, you guys see when I post a chart, hopefully it's not too much of a tangent. Let's see here if I can do it really quick and find an example because it will be relevant. Does that work? Yep. All right. To answer your question, Kath, so looking at my chart, this is how I day trade. 5 minute, 15 minute up here to get my entries. Lower level here, I'll zoom out to get the big picture. And what is on my right side every single time, every single day? SPY. This gives me my feel for the market. This gives me the gauge of the market, sentiment of the market. Are we going up or down? This never leaves my chart on the top right side. It can be wherever you guys want. But if we're pushing up and flying and bullish, it is best to be in bullish positions because you want to ride the wave. We cannot move the market on our own. We just follow big money. And so if the markets are moving up, it is best to be in call plays. Yeah, you can find a weak name. Last week, SPY was, generally speaking, pushing up, chopping a little bit. And Tesla was really weak first part of the day. It is possible to find a weak name in the market, but my trading strategy is if the markets are pushing, I'm looking for calls. If QQQ and SPY is selling, I'm looking for puts in the market because generally speaking, the algos are trading together. Great question. Bank of America. Yep, I see that request. It has earnings this week. I will definitely chart it for you. But Bank of America, Citibank, they are a no-go for me. I think they report on Wednesday, but I will definitely chart it for you because that's what you want. So NVIDIA, yep. Tesla is next. Tesla, fairly easy setup. Not easy to trade because it's a beast, but I'm saying easy on the chart setup. Let's go to 1 hour. Let's show you guys what I'm looking at here. What level do you guys think I am eyeing? You said 250, 249.50. You are correct. Again, you guys, a sell down through 250 back here 9 days ago. We see selling pressure, same thing. Monday push up. What happens? We get to 250. Big sells. What happens? We get to 250. Big sells. Get news finally over. And now a bit of a consolidation. I mean, yeah, it's a 10, 15 or $10 range in here, but we can still kind of sort of call this consolidation because if you're trying to, profit on shares, you're not making a whole lot, you're down, you're in profit, you're down, you're in profit, you're down, you're in profit, you get the point. So a little bit of consolidation here on Tesla. Definitely let's look at what's going on here. So this battle at 250 here will decide the week on Tesla and probably each day. And what else do we have lined up here? Look at these moving averages stacked. So when I say moving averages stacked, they're literally stacked on one another. The daily 9 and the daily 20 moving average. So those are overhead. You can see clear as day. When we push them, where do we reject? We reject the moving averages. Where's the support? Support is down here for sure. But where's the focus? Where's the battle at? 250 all day long. So Tesla, any buyable dip with caution into 250, but we've seen how we can easily sell through it. We get over it, we see the buying pressure, how sellers kind of give up. We sell through it. We can see how buyers give up and selling pressure. And better yet, we should get some levels down here at this kind of this 245 here. So if you guys don't have anything charted on Tesla, this is exactly where I would be charting. Definitely these candle body closes, like close here, open here, wick there, candle body opens, buybacks, closes, 250, or excuse me, 245, absolutely. So this is support, this is lower range, kind of the middle of the range. Any open over that, I'm bullish. Over this top range here, we're gonna fly over basically 258.75, just call it 259. Like, because we can see rejection, rejection, rejection. These are 1 hour candles, rejection, rejection. If we open a gap over that, that is a gap over resistance, which is now support. And now what do we have? We have 2 moving averages underneath this. Support, support, and all this range support, 3 forms of support. Anything over that 258, 259, I am not bearish on the day. I am not bearish on swings until we get up to this upper range here. Okay. So you guys buy the dip, you catch the dip, you're awesome. You're taking screenshots, you're telling your friends. What do? You need to be trimming all the way up to here, this upper range here at 265. Because this chart makes sense how I'm charting you guys that want this. I see a couple of requests on Tesla. Okay. Any sells under these moving averages, and with caution, you can take your puts into here, but you sell here, you absolutely sell into here. Or if you're like, you know what, I'm afraid I'm gonna get caught in a bounce, wait your turn. You don't have to take puts, that's fine. Look for here, we start consolidating. We're holding this range for an hour and a half. Take your calls because you know where your floor is. Tesla moves very, very fast, you guys. A little secret, not a secret, but a little trick. What you can do is you can keep the Tesla chart up and you can play TSLL. Write this down if you're new or don't trade it. TSLL. So how much is Tesla trading at? 250? Contracts are expensive, aren't they? How much is TSLL trading at? $9. TSLL. Look at those weekly contracts this week, $30. So here's what you do. You follow the moves on Tesla, say flips, alerts, Tesla calls, and you're like, hey, Tesla's like $900 a contract. I can't trade that. What do? You take TSLL at the money. So if Tesla is pushing into 9, you take the 9 call, or at very worst, the 9.5, and look at this chart, okay, to prove this. Big push up, sell down, rejection, 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 and I go back to Tesla. Ready? Same exact chart, you guys. This is all this is leveraged shares of Tesla, TSLL. If you want to be bullish on Tesla, you buy calls of TSLL. If you want to be bearish on Tesla, puts on TSLL, okay? That's the cheat code on Tesla, you guys. You guys don't have to, you guys can afford a $900 contract. It doesn't mean buy a $325 contract. That's just stupid. River had a lecture on option Greeks last week. You have to know option Greeks. You'll be pushing up. You're like, hey, I'm barely making any money. And I'll say, hey, what is your strike price? Oh, I'm at 315. Tesla's at 255. Why do you have a 315 strike? Okay, TSLL. All right. Scrolling up to the chat, trying to stay caught up. All right, fitness. You always have detailed breakdown. Amazon, let's read it in real time. Fitness says, as long as it's not a dump fest, Amazon, we reclaim 184. Sweet, already got it. This is their level. Let's get it nice and thick so it stands out. Let's build a game plan for them. We reclaimed 184 on the daily, which is fairly key level. If the market remains strong, I want to see SPY move in the same direction. It calls off 184. Love all that. In addition, confluence of support. We have the daily 9 VWAP. Man, if you guys don't follow what fitness is doing, take note. Main target be 187. Damn. It's like our levels are locked in. Look at that. So this thick line is their target. Previously rejected, could possibly double top, contracts 2450. Perfect, man. Look at that. Freaking game plan every single time. Every time we talk in DMs, game plan. It's not, hey, where's SPY going? I'm up in profit. Where do I sell? They got a game plan all the time because they put the work in. Love it. Amazon. So a recap of their game plan. So any holds of 184, Love it. Because we can see sell down. What happens? We give up 184, selling pressure, rejection, rejection. Same thing, battle up, battle it out. We get over 184. Sellers, as of now, are giving up. Okay, so let's see where we open in a perfect world, you guys. If you're not already in, you want to see a 187 reject, and you want to see a trickle down, controlled move into 184. And like they said, as long as 184 holds, this should be your bounce call, because this is now support. Over here it was resistance. Anytime you're over resistance is now support. So you want to see a hold of this level, but like they mentioned, 184 gives up, it's probably not the time for calls. Okay, take your puts or just cut your calls. And if you're just only a person that buys calls, set an alert, wait till we get back over. But we can see we get under 180, 184, we can see that selling pressure that comes about. But then he pushes over. Yeah, definitely love those targets for sure, because daily 9 is curled underneath as another form of support. So again, I'm not mega bullish in this market. We all know what's going on with the tariff talk, all that stuff, but I am an investor. So, in the long term, and, day to day, we're option traders. We can trade the puts, which is great. But my Roth, my share positions, they go red. So, generally speaking, I want to see the markets go up. So I'm not going to fight it. If we're pushing up, I like this setup definitely on Amazon. Great chart. Great request, you guys, so far. Make sure I'm not getting too buried on the chat here. Kath, how do we decide what strategy, scalp, day trade? That's a good question. Part one of that answer is it depends on your risk tolerance. These setups that I'm giving you, these are day trade setups. If somebody wants a swing, put it in the request of say, hey, Amazon, that was a swing. But these are just day trade ideas of where to take the call. A scalp is, for me, the term of a scalp is like if you're playing Spire QQQ 0 DTEs, and you're literally scalping on what happened? You're literally scalping on the 5-minute chart. This is not SPY. This is just for speed of class. So if you're taking puts, you're playing level to level on the 5-minute chart, candle to candle, level to level, and that is a scalp. But it could be a matter of minutes or seconds. What I'm doing here tonight, Kath, is just I'm giving you guys a game plan for day trade ideas. For hey, look at this level, watch this level here, see what happens around this level, and build a game plan off of that. Yeah, if you get in Amazon, you get paid within the first 4 minutes. I guess you could call that a scalp, But for me, this is assuming we're buying, at least 5 days of time, maybe more on the contracts. And I'm treating these as a day trade. Anything in my tab, it is not a swing unless I specifically say, hey, I'm buying time. This is a swing, and so forth. All right. Trying to get top of the chat here. NVIDIA, Tesla, to Amazon. Jacob wants Apple. That's another one on my list, I think. Yep, definitely. Apple. Oof. Well, right now, Apple's around 211. All right. Let's look left, Jacob and everybody else. Does that 211 matter? Yep. We sold into it Wednesday a couple weeks ago. Never reclaimed. What did it do? It triggered the sell, triggered the sell. And now what are we doing? Buyers are fighting their way back up, fighting their way back up. Putting in some higher lows. So here's a low and here's a low. It is a higher low. So going up a higher low. We're going to gap over. If this holds, we're gapping over Friday's price action and into this level here. So Jacob, anything over, let's see here. In a perfect world, a perfect setup, we need that 211, that 211.33 to really hold. So this level here, I'm looking left as I'm trying to give you guys some advice here. I'm looking left this price action here and see how I look left. I'm back in mid-March. We can see how that battle here, you guys, that's how why I never delete lines. Sold under, but buyers were not ready to give it back up, reclaim back over. You can see that battle here, like bounce, 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 bounce. How many times do we have to bounce something before we believe that 211 is the level to watch? So I'm going to zoom in for you guys here just a little bit. Again, we're going to have some gap up price action most likely, unless we get some heavy sell bearish news in the pre-market. Once again, Jacob, anything over This 211, this 210 pocket. I'm saying 210 because we got our daily 20 right here that is going to be curled under as long as that holds. So I want to see a push up in a retest in pre-market, or if we open under, if this daily 20 holds, there's a little bit of risk, but you can take some calls off 210, but just know that 211, that 211.3, there's first attempt, there's gonna be a lot of selling pressure. So don't be greedy. So, like I say, if you take calls here, and I'm gonna throw out a random number, you're up 11%, 11% is not good enough for you. Well, tough luck. The chart says you better be trimming here, because if we reject, you're gonna look back and go, oh, why didn't I take that 11 or 13%? Now I'm break even. Well, I don't want to sell break even. Now I'm down 10%. So 13% wasn't good enough for you. I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying hypothetically, break even wasn't good enough for you. Now you're going to sell 10% red. That's bad trading. So play what the chart gives you. For me, the reason I want to point that out is, for me, I would rather wait this move out right here. And I would rather see a breakout retest over, because that gave me confidence. Hey, this morning move here is holding. Now resistance is now support. So I'm going to see a breakout retest of 211.3. Get your calls. Then it's on. Then it's on to the races, because we look left. Recent price action. Look, we don't have a whole lot until kind of this 215. Zoom in here. Try not to let it zoom in. So look at that 215. How the top of that arrow there. How we can see that next level there kind of holds. Yeah, 215, 216, even though I don't have a line there, just for speed of class, we can see we break over that. That would be my expected move. Hope that make you guys dizzy. That's my expected move. We hold this 211. Not saying we get it a day, but I think sellers are going to give up if we give up this, or if we break over that level here. 215, 216, definitely 217 again, upper range there. Definitely level to be watching for sure. My computer fan is running. I got something else open. Hold on, guys. Oh yeah, I got a work project. Hold on. Sorry about that. My fan was kicking up, working overtime. All right, make sure relevant stuff. All right. Apple got that question answered. Got that question. Question got that. Trying to get caught up on the chat here. All right. SMCI, then Bank of America, then UNH. Next three. What did I say? SMCI. Let's hit it. Norman likes this one. I don't know if he's in here tonight. He is not. That's why the chat is quiet. Love you, brother Norman. Just giving you shit, man. He loves this name. All right. We haven't tried this in a while. Looks like that 31.67 and 32 pocket is still the level to watch. So I'm not sure. Junior Baker. Guys, it's all family here. We love it. Sorry, who? Andrew. Yep. Okay. Andrew, you want to be bullish or bearish? I guess I'd never asked any of you guys on these setups, so let me know in the chat. I'll keep track of the chat. I'm looking at it. If you're still here, Andrew, let me know. Or if you just want some perspective, that's fine too. But I need to get a couple more levels here for you. Definitely just looking left, kind of being quick with the class, quick as I can. I know everybody's time's important, so doing the best I can. So kind of this middle range here. Don't see anything in the chat, so we're just going to roll with it. So anything over 33, we can see. Again, get to my drawings. Battle at 33, we get over, we push. Back to the battle at 33, we get under, we sell. Over, we push. Under, we sell. You get the point. Over, okay. Last week, most recent price action is always the most important in my opinion, because it is the most recent. So look at that battle back at 33 here. So that is my plan. Any of these holds over 33, we may gap up over. Any holds and the daily 9, bullish thesis number 1. Okay, if the trade gets away from us, we don't get this test down here. Okay, where are we rejecting? Where do we reject Thursday? Where do we reject on Tuesday? 34.53-ish. Okay, where are we going to open? Possibly over that. What do I say? Resistance, we break over. We now treat that as support. Okay, so any break over, we treat as support. Why do we treat this support? Because it's the high from, not this high, but it's this high from Fry's price action. Pre-market levels, you guys, this grayish area, always leave on pre-market levels. They matter. Okay, that is the pre-market price action of, before the market opened. That is the high. So that is a form of support, and also, an actual support line. So 34.53, I'm bullish on that. Any sell under, I'm bearish on the day, not for swings because this range is pretty tight. So I'll take my puts down into here. I'll trim heavy into the daily 90 in here in a 33.14. So some very nice, the markets are going to give us some very nice setups, you guys. I hope you guys are taking screenshots, taking notes. Obviously, we can't play everything, but if this is a setup you like and the contracts are cheaper, okay, I kind of like the setup, take some notes, take some screenshots, because it's fun to see how these play out from you guys. So 34.53, that's my spot tomorrow to watch. Bank of America, again, they got earnings on the 15th, which is Tuesday. So contracts are going to be expensive. Doesn't mean you can't trade it, but you better not be swinging because earnings are in 2 days. So sometimes they chop, sometimes they get us a big move. The reason I'm just staying off of it, because like I said, contracts can be juiced and investors will be positioning, waiting for the conference call. And so it's hands off for me. And then after earnings, I usually wait 1 or 2 days. So I'm probably not going to play this name till Thursday, but I'm going to chart it for you regardless. Quick drink of water. Sorry about that. Tricky spot, kind of in the middle. What I'm going to call, this is a cheaper name, you guys. So, it doesn't move $10 in a day like Tesla. It moves maybe $1 or $2. So my upper range here, any pushes into 34.70, or excuse me, 36.75. If you're not already in calls, I'm very cautious on holding calls there. We can definitely take some puts if we start seeing some double top action, opening range high of the day, so to speak. We could definitely take our shot, because we look at these wicks here. We know our stop is fairly controlled, fairly small. We break above those candle body closes right there. We can stop out because we're probably going to push more. Any rejections of 36.75, definitely we can take some puts. Where do we take puts? Where do we trim? My targets would probably be like 36.5. So that's like a 25-cent move down. But if you catch a 25-cent move, that's 25% of your dollar, of your delta. If you guys know anything about option Greeks, that can pay you very, very nicely. So again, any rejections of this level here, trim heavy here, because that is our high from that mid-afternoon session on Friday. So they're probably going to bounce that there. No bounces in sight. Markets are super weak. So you're in, 5 of them. You sold 1, you sold 3 more. So you got 1 left. Boom, you take a runner down and you sell wherever you like down here. You look left, you find these candle body closes, you find these wicks, and you chart out some levels. I chart out, again, the big swings in the market. I don't need every 5-minute candle, not the 5-minute, but I don't need every single candle. It gets messy, but I look left and I set alerts. So you set alert here, you set alert here, if you're in a bearish position. So nice chart. Like I said, nothing against it. It just has earnings. I would say that for any name that has earnings coming up. I'm just personally hands off Bank of America and Citibank. Citibank has earnings on same day. So double whammy, financial sector. Let's see what they say. Tariff news. Let's see how financial sectors, how banks think of the tariffs and their forward guidance. Forward guidance is what matters, you guys. So banking sector is all eyes this week for sure. Gail, hope you're still here. UNH, I know you've been hitting that one last couple of weeks. Let's take a look. Ooh, are we pushing again? Let's see. Let me check the 4-hour. Yeah, I think we talked a couple weeks on this, didn't we? I think we were talking up here and it was risky because it was an all-time high and we wanted that back test. I think you DM'd me. We got some good gains off that. So, man, this is a runner. Let's just go to the daily, just see where the heck we're at. Because we got some things to look at. Oh, it's all-time highs. I take that back. I'm sorry. We're talking about an upper range here. So UNH, United Healthcare, a lot going for it, a lot to be not bullish to start a position on shares, but bullish long term. And why do I say that? I got 1, 2, 3 moving averages. I got our daily 200 reclaimed. Daily 200 reclaimed. If you're an investor for any name, you want to see us over that. You want to see price action over the 200-day. You can see how slow it moves is a 200-day moving average. So an average of 200 candles. Daily 9, daily 20, all stacked underneath it. Earnings coming up this week. So some things to watch. Let's see, do you have comments on this? Let's see, where did it go? Not looking to trade, just been watching. Okay, perfect. I can dig that. So coming into this upper range here. So like I said, I hinted, not a spot I want to start, buying shares, but to see that reclaims moving averages, that is good news for any company, whether it's, Tesla, Amazon, whatever it is, getting some levels here to kind of watch this upper range here, what to look for this week or in the coming days. So for me, I look at this chart and my instinct, I don't know what's going to happen. I have no skin in the game. My instinct says, okay, big breakout, we push. Where do we reject on Friday? Where did a higher reject? Does it make sense? What do? We look left. Absolutely. Look at that top range there from late last year, basically August through, let's just call it the end of not the end of the year, August through beginning of December. So December is right here. I don't know why I try and write out stuff with my mouse. So upper range here, rejection, rejection, break over, sell through, rejection, rejection, and then all this time to get back over it. That's why you never delete lines. You always know where you're going, where you want to go. Where to reject right there. So my instinct, again, is telling me I'm on the daily still, you guys. I think we kind of settle out here and we back test this level here. And what do we do when we back test this level or consolidation zone? What's going to happen? What happens when we consolidate? Our moving averages are going to catch up and it's going to build, those algos are going to kick in. The daily 200 moves really slow. So it's going to move something like that. Daily 20 moves a little bit slower. It's going to be something like that. So, if you're an investor or a day trader, any holds that 582, I know it's like, it's a ways down, but any back test to that level, I'm looking for price action like this. Does that hold when we get back to it? We bounce up. Yes. Does this level hold when we get back to it? Yes. Any sells under, I'm back bearish again because we would slice through all those moving averages. But again, from a day trade perspective, a swing perspective, and also shares, 1 hour chart. Again, a share position, even if you have time, unlimited time, I don't want to buy the top. I don't want to buy the bottom range. If this is a TV, do you want to buy that 65-inch TV at $606? Or, Memorial Day weekend's coming up. Oh, there's a sale. Now it's on sale for $582. Do you want to save 4%? Yeah, maybe not be a lot of money, but if you're buying several $1,000s, 4% is, that means a lot. So, I back test this level here. Absolutely. Buy your dip on calls because these moving averages down here are going to catch up. Any sells under, that's going to trigger selling pressure again. So nice, to quote River, that's my line in the sand, 582.42-ish, quick charting, but that is my level there. All right. Marciel, I think I said that correctly, hopefully. Do I try to take less trades overall by only taking, yeah, if you guys, if you pay attention to my tab, my alert is 1 a day. If you're lucky, we're hitting the lottery, you're going to get 2 alerts a day from me. That's literally what I do, you guys. I'm not perfect. I take losses, but I literally wait for the possible best setup that I'm going to give you because, I don't know if 5 people take my trades or 100 people. I don't know. I know 100 people don't take my trades. That's fine, but it's not about who takes them. But, the point is people pay attention, and I'm not going to give just a crap trade out where, we're risking, 60% on, let's go back to Bank of America. I'm telling you guys to take calls here. We're only going to profit, 15%, but I'm telling you guys to hold 60% red down there. Like that's a horrible risk reward. It's horrible learning experience for you guys. And so, yeah, I'm literally scanning the charts every single day. I'm getting a feel on market flow. I'm getting a feel on SPY and QQQ. And I'm scanning like this. I mean, if you were to see a screen record of, my morning routine. I'm literally going like this every morning. I'm taking notes and 30 minutes, an hour before open. And I'm saying, okay, GM looks good, kale looks good, lift looks like shit or whatever. I don't like this one, ignore that one today. And I write notes on a sticky pad, and then I set alerts. And if an alert triggers, I'm like, okay, I wanted to be bullish on this. It is now moving in my direction. And then I build a plan, and then I give you guys an alert or a trade idea. Like, I'm looking for, like I said, the best possible outcome every single day. You're never going to see 3-4 alerts from me, in my tab ever, because for me, it's mentally draining. I like to find a trade, get in and out, ideally, 15, 30 minutes if we can, and get on with my day, whether that's helping you guys in DMs in the chat. That's where most of my time is spent. But man, I pride Flips and Nando and the other guys that scalp all day. Like, that is mentally draining for me. I do not want to do that. So good question though. We must be running long. Throat's getting dry. It's all right. All right, BAC, we got that one. UNH Sushi, good to have you here, brother. Bambino, MSTR. Let's take a look at it. MSTR, right? Yes. Ooh. Push over, even before we zoom out. Let's look at this. Rejection, sell down, bounce support, pushed over, battle at the daily 9, breakout. Sellers are giving up. Battle at the 200, or excuse me, the daily 20. Stumbling on my words. Battle at resistance, battle it out. They closed under a gap over. Let's just move this to 300, make it easy. Round number, psychological number. Let's zoom out. Let's see where the heck that 300 lines up, and if that makes sense. Oh yeah, look at that 300. See, zoom out. Again, never delete levels on your chart, you guys. So big battle here. Consolidation, consolidation, breakout, boom. Sellers are giving up. Sellers kick back in, battle back at 300. What happens when they give up 300 on the day? I'm looking right here. Selling pressure all day. We push up, buyers are fighting for their life, fighting, battling. Next day, you guys get the point. Sell down, resistance. Okay, now we are attempting, if this holds, we'll see we're open in the morning session, back over 300. So what do? Let's not make it rocket science. We're over 300. What do? We buy calls. We look for a bounce and a breakout. So we're back at 300. And not only are we back at 300, we got a daily 20 moving average, that green line right there. All right. Bambino. Yep. Any call, any dip into here is a very strong, high probability trade of a bounce happening. Can it sell through? Yeah, it can sell through. Guess what? If it sells through, make that your stop. This price action here from Friday. Okay, don't be like, okay, one case says calls at 300, and now I'm pulling down here, averaging. Now I'm going to take a loss down here and sell. No, you keep your loss small. If it sells through that, you take your 15, 18, 20% loss, whatever it is, lick your wounds. Markets are super weak. We got tariff news rolling in. What do? You get into puts, and you instantly made that money back plus some. You don't even care about that call loss. Okay, so this goes for anybody, not just this setup and this person that asked about this trade, but keep your losses small, you guys. Again, I would expect, and that's the type of trades I take and alert and give ideas to, is I'm looking, this should be support. Does it have to hold? No, but I tell you what, I'm taking calls here every single time to try this every single time before I'm taking puts. I'm not going to sell into that and take puts there. No way. But if that holds and that bounces, let's get to a game plan. Zoom in a bit. Where do I sell? How do I sell? How do I find my targets? Yada, yada. You look left. So you bought the dip. You're up nice. You're cheering. You're taking your screenshot. Candle body closes. Target. Does that make sense? Look left. Yep. You better trim there. You better trim Friday high of the day. Previous day, high day, you guys, absolutely should be a target. Because look where that candle opened. It's not an accident how these computers that we're trading, hopefully trading with, not against, how they do this. So again, you take your calls, boom, profit. You're a baller. You had like 5 of them. You take 4, you got 1. Now you ride this wave up, excuse me. Let's just say that pre-market high was up here. You bottom ticked, you sold, you ride up, boom. You're done for the day. You banked. You caught a $14 move on that stock. Huge gains. You're in a swing from April 25th, 345 call. I don't know what that delta is. Since I got you in the chat, where you don't have to say what percent you're up or down, but where at on the chart did you enter? What price level? That way I can kind of help you. Again, you don't have to say your position size, but let me know roughly where you entered if you got in on Friday. So, because if you entered down here, man, you're chilling. But if you entered up here like Friday's high, you got a little bit of work to do, and hope we see a gap up for you. But let me know the chart, brother. I'm looking or in the chat. I'll wait for you, but help you out a little bit. So no tonight's class probably gonna run long, you guys. We're at 1 hour. You guys can dip out if you need to, but I'm gonna get to everyone's request. Hurry, hurry, if not, all right, no big deal. Master. Small ports, high risk, higher big ass spread looking at. Marcial, I'm just reading your comment again. Let's talk this week in DMs. I'll help you with Bank of America for sure. Yep. All right, Dell is next, and then it's just commentary. And I'm gonna do Dell. Okay, you entered at 276. Oh shit, you better. I don't know how many you're in, man or woman, but you better have trimmed. If you're in here at 276, you better be trimming. If you did not, again, I'm calling you out, but I'm not trying to be mean. If you got in down here and you didn't sell at the high of the week, you better be trimming tomorrow. Because if you're up huge and we sell through that high of the week, you're going to be sad. And then you don't want to sell here because you're like, oh, it's going to bounce. And then you break even. And then I'm going to find you in the Discord and I'm going to have a talk with you. All love, just give me tough love. But seriously, if you're in down here, definitely, if we come back to this 300 or trade around it tomorrow, please trim. You don't have a ton of time. You got, 13 trading days or 13 days, which is even less because we don't trade the weekends. So please trim this upper range 300. But I hope for you and for OT, break that 300, man, run that 223 for sure. All right, Dell. And I'm going to check on a couple of small port names. I want to go over Disney and Coke after this one for you guys. Dell, yep. I don't play this one ever, but we have it charted for somebody. So let's see where we're at. Ish, are you bullish or bearish on Dell, or just want some insight as I build a trade plan and a pretty nice clean chart? Let's get some stuff going here. Fairly clean, doesn't perfectly line up. We'll roll with it. A low and a higher low and a higher low, which is a trend reversal. So we are now we're in an uptrend all last week. Breakout, retest support, breakout, retest support. So again, this is like, I love this setup. Actually, this is charting 101. Let me get some stuff going here. It's going to be some quick levels here, but I will get us going. So when I say, if you're like, what do you mean breakout support? So this is like textbook. So a lower low here, or excuse me, a higher low. So a low and a higher low and a higher low and a breakout retest of support. So support, breakout, retest, leg up, breakout, retest, leg up. So what do you want to see on the next one? Breakout, retest, leg up. Okay. So my game plan, this is a nice chart. I might add some alerts here on this actually. See what that price action does there. Let me what does this 86 look like if we zoom left? How far do I gotta go? Oh yeah. Coming back in this zone here from man, Dell's been getting its ass kicked. August 7th of last year. Draw another line here. That was that low. Oops. Zooming back to the right here. Hang with me. Make sure I'm missing anything. Oh yeah. All right. I can dig that. So bullish since tariff news. All right. Love it. Hell yeah. I can get on with that. All right, Ish, I got your attention. Any hold of this green zone here I'm about to draw? Get long, stay long, where you said you're bullish, which is great. Anyone else following along? Any holds of that? stay long, because we can see when that support holds, we looked left, we go left more, we're short on time, but any holds that. So we have broken out. So like I say, breakout retest, any bounces in this zone, you might see a little bit of red, any buybacks over, you continue to stay bullish on it. You may not get the move you want right away because we got the daily 9, this dash line right here. We may see some consolidation, but if you chase, but if you're seeing holds here, and when this trend line comes into play, so we hold here, this would be Wednesday, let's say we dip in this trend line, we hold, like this is, nothing about this says get short. Right now where we're at, nothing says be bearish on this until we break trend line, until we break this green zone here. So come Wednesday, we break trend line, we break the green zone. Yeah, we can be bearish for a day trade or possible swing, but this is higher lows textbook. A breakout of old resistance is textbook. Daily 9 is underneath us. Like, man, you guys got some good requests. Daily 20 is coming. So in a perfect world-ish, we want to see this stair step down a little bit, which would mean a break, a retest will bring that moving average down, and they bounce over it. And what it does is it curls back under it. Your daily 9 crosses, and then boom, it's on. And that's how you catch swing trades. So an example of that, see how far back I gotta go, just for you guys for some education here, right here. So 1 second. So right here. So remember, I was drawing that line. Your daily 9, your daily 20 is creeping. Your daily 9 crosses over your 20, and that, generally speaking, is a very, very bullish sentiment, and you get a nice multi-day move and multi-day swing. That's how you catch that. So again, you want to see, your price action move over your moving averages, your 9 cross over your 20, and that is a very bullish setup scenario to catch swings. I'm not saying you should swing on this market, but same thing, zooming left here. So you can see our setup here, that daily 20, this is a really, really nice setup. I'm going to set some alerts here because I want to see price action. If we dip down into this, I might even take this trade. I'm not saying I'm going to alert it, but I'm going to watch this for sure. Any breakouts over kind of this cluster here, basically over 90. Breakout retest at 90. Yeah, I'll get on board with that. Nice setup, you guys. Great job. Like, I'm not just saying that. Like, that's a really great setup here. Let me know in DMs if you're already in it, but not that I'm giving you the trade, but you're already in it. So yeah, if you profit nice from that, let me know. Or if anyone else takes this from this lecture, that's what it's all about, you guys. It's not about me. It's about learning from each other. Perfect. All right. All right, I'm caught up. I'm gonna go over 2 names quick, you guys. If you guys got to jet out, you can. I appreciate everyone sticking around. We got 25 people. I'm gonna go over Disney, Coke, and then a recap on SPY and QQQ, and then we will wrap. Okay. Disney, my focus, making it quick. I drew a line, a red line, the line to focus on. You guys already know my sentiment. Fitness, if you're still in here, I know you watched this one too. Don't know if you got different levels, but we can see Disney pumped back. Tariff news, sold down Thursday, sold, range, we'll just call it a range chop on Friday. So, markets chopped a little bit. Thursday pushed Friday. Disney, no follow through. Okay. So is Disney lagging, or is Disney not liking the tariff news? I'm not super smart with that. So you guys decide, but something I'm watching here. So any pushes, right now, Disney's top watch for a bearish trade. I'm not saying just dive in. Here's what I would do, how I trade it. So any pushes up, you guys, onto this 86 zone here. And again, if markets are flying and Disney is still just lagging and failing, and it's kind of just failing this 86 zone, I'm not saying dive into puts, but I'm saying set some alerts here, because if we start seeing, again, markets are flying, they're like in the news, whatever, and Disney is just for whatever reasons not having it, and then we get the tweet of, Trump is slapping on more tariffs, or the 10% across the border, now 20%, markets get really, really bearish. Anywhere around here, this is going to trigger a pretty damn hard sell, I think, off 86. We can see how we tried to push over and we fail day after day, 1, 2, 3, got that day for 5 days in a row. rejections here, 86. So Disney is a bearish setup on watching. We can definitely buy the dip down here on calls. But again, markets are pushing and Disney's not really doing a damn thing. So doesn't mean calls can't pay. Doesn't mean it can't pop this 86 and we fly. I'm just saying it doesn't give me much confidence. Again, people mention in the chat of how I look for setups. This is not my favorite bullish setup because it's not moving with the market at this time. So just something to keep watch. Again, I'm not in it. I'm not in any swings or shares. It is just a name that I'm going to set an alert literally right here with you guys to just watch that price action there. Yeah, we're getting dips down here, A3, but really no follow through in a $3 range. And so I'm just kind of focusing and watching Disney. What are we doing this week? That tariff news, if, maybe, I don't know, maybe they're just getting hurt more in tariff news. Like I said, if someone is smarter than me on that, they can chime in on Disney, but that's what I'm watching. iPhone, when I post my tab, do I usually put like SPY call? I'm still new. Nope, I don't alert SPY. I'm sorry if that's what you want from me, but that's not me. They, OT didn't really ask me to focus on small port, but that's where I find the most enjoyment is helping people build their ports. Like, when they have $300, $500, $1,000, and I get the DM, I'm up $400, that I'm playing a small port. That's what I'm here for, is to help the small port stuff, these slower movers, because honestly, you guys, there's a lot of people in here with small ports and they just kind of sit on the sidelines quietly, and that's okay. And all day when we get SPX, no hate on the other analysts, but we get Tesla, we get SPX, we get NVIDIA all day. NVIDIA's a little cheaper now, but your Metas, your Microsoft, your Netflix, like that shit's expensive. And I know there's people on the sidelines either saying, hey, there's no love for me or my port, or they take a trade, they literally have a $500 port and they take a $400 trade and they take a loss on that. And then, it's just the losing trade, just the luck of the draw. And now their port is, down big. And so my focus is just to help, those people smaller ports, because like I said, you guys, I can alert Tesla and make 20%. It can be stressful, or I can alert Disney or DraftKings, and it's a hell of a lot cheaper, and I can put the same amount of money in, and it's a hell of a lot less risk. I just choose to make my 20% a lot. I take on a lot less risk. And again, no hate on Flips, Nando, all those guys at Scalpel Day. That's fine. They're good at what they do. I just, we got like 9, 10, 11 people alerting in here. Like, I just wanted to be different. I guess that's my spiel. So, yeah, when my watch list comes back, kind of to sort of answer your question, small tangent. I haven't been doing my watch list, you guys, because the volatility. If we gap down $5, $10 on SPY, there's no reason for a watch list. But who was it that asked? iPhone, when probably this week, once I'm not saying the volatility is going to die down, but this is going to start hopefully this week again, as long as we don't gap up huge. But a long-winded roundabout way to answer your question is, at the top, I will give my outlook on SPY. So basically, I'm giving you my game plan in real time when I put this out. Best I can pre-market is stuff like this. Isn't today? This is March 27th. Is 567 decides a day for me. Bullish, bearish, over that, whatever. And if we're over that, that's where these are like my top 3 setups I'm looking for. My bullish or bearish trigger, meaning if we break and hold 73.34, that's ideally for your calls on the name C or DraftKings, Uber, whatever it is. And that's how I do my watch list. I just stopped the last 2 weeks because there's just too much news going on. It literally was not worth it for me to put out a watch list an hour ahead of time and try and find levels for you guys, and we just gap up or down below them. It wasn't worth my time. And honestly, the markets were too crazy and stuff was expensive. Like I day trade SPY, don't alert it, but when I take a 1-day expiration SPY, I shouldn't have to be paying $800 for that. And I was doing that last couple of weeks, and that's not fun. So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, iPhone, send me a DM. We can talk more. But yeah, my tab is, I'm descriptive as I can when I do that. But that's Disney, you guys. Again, I'm not blindly bearish, but I'm not confident on a bullish setup until we break the 86. Okay. One last one. KO, Coca-Cola, the soda. I don't want to learn a swing, but any back test, because this name is fairly easy to play, fairly cheap to play. I like this setup just for what I see, but again, swinging is very, very risky. So here's a day trade plan on KO. Sorry, my voice is going out a little bit. Any holds over 70.55. That is my lower range. Again, I've talked lower, mid, upper range. So my lower range, we can see how as big as I can. I know you guys are on your phones sometimes. So the 70.55 was huge. You know, resistance, battle out, whatever you want to call it. Daily 9 was stacked overhead, big smackdown. We pushed over that on Friday. I took some calls. I didn't alert them. A couple of people messaged me. They took them from that trade advice in my tab. Anyway, 70.55, and now we have the daily 9 stacked right on top of it. So 2 forms of support to be bullish on this name, as long as the markets are at best sideways, even better bullish and pushing upward. This is a very, very nice setup to trade. We can see higher lows are being formed every single day. So next plan of attack is 70.17 for me. We can see how those candle body closes at and around there. So any holds over 70.17, I'm bullish on the day. Don't really want to swing, because a swing, there's not much left to take a swing on this trade. If you catch bounces down here at 70.55, with time, you can take some swings, but no, a sell under that is giving up a huge support. It's giving up the daily 9 moving average, is not good, and probably the daily 20 underneath, which is not good as well. So you would have 3 forms in your favor of a bullish setup, but a sell through that, and those 3 things in your favor are now working against you. So 70.55 on KO, you know, worst case scenario this week. But again, any bounces off 70.17, that's a buyable dip to see a continuation for that 70.2 for me. So I just want to point that out. But again, if we sell to that 70.5 and markets are weak or KO is having a bad day, I'll take some puts in here for sure, because we know reject 70.55, how we sell, and we sell big and it pays big. Okay. All right, recap, SPY, QQQ, and then we are going to get out of here for the night, you guys. So as of now, we're opening 537.50-ish on SPY, so kind of around here. A recap in case you guys were late to class or couldn't join right away. So I'm playing SPY in kind of 2 ways. So this week, any holds of 525, you know, we can day trade puts for sure, but I'm looking, this is a big, big, big zone here. It was big last week. It was big a week ago. It was big several months ago. So any holds, I'm kind of calling, you know, this range 1 and this range 2 with 525, just the middleman. So lower range, upper range, and middle right here. So any holds of 525, I'm bullish on swings. I'm bullish on the day. Obviously, like I said, we're going to probably gap over that. So we may not get this move down here. If we don't, you know, I'm using this pre-market level. I'm using Friday's high. So let me go to drawing mode. Friday's high would be 536.50 basically. So any opens over that 536.50 in this pre-market area, to me, get bullish, stay bullish on the day, but don't be blind overhead. Don't be blind to 550. I don't know if we get there tomorrow or in a week or in 2 days, but any pushes up to that, I'm selling heavy, and I might even short the bounce. So when you guys see markets pushing up, and you're like, puts here, it's like, it has to make sense where you short. For me, 550 is an obvious short. But again, if it breaks over, you don't hold for a huge loss. You don't hold way up here. You know, you keep your loss small. But I'm saying people want to short a trend. Either you want to buy the dip on calls. Well, you know, let the dip happen. Let the dip happen. Let the dip happen. Boom, boom. You buy your calls at 525. Okay, has to make sense. If you're buying calls on a downtrend, it has to make sense. If you're buying puts on an uptrend, it has to make sense. Where does that make sense? 525 for sure. So I'm either, if I catch the move, I'm writing my calls into 525, or if I have a meeting at work and I miss that move, I'm watching, I'm setting alerts. You can see an alert already up here a little above that, but 525, you better be selling most of your positions until we confirm break over. You know, you can hold one, that's fine, but don't be in 5 calls hold them, don't get the break, and we retrace back down to break even. That's just stupid trading. Always look left, you guys. Okay. Any sells under 525, I'm bearish, not necessarily say we get here on the day, but I'm bearish for retrace back to 500, you know, a multi-day run, whatever it is. But if we sell to that 525, we see that selling pressure, selling pressure, selling pressure, selling pressure. Okay. Use your larger time frames, look left. Trading, you know, charting takes practice, you guys, but don't go against the market. Don't go against the momentum. You, me, all of us combined do not have the money to do that. QQQ, similar setup. We're opening 559, so you know, over 459, and he holds over 460, 458. I'm bullish for a bounce on the day. I'm bullish on the day. I know I'm going to the pre-market, but I'm just for drawing purposes. Any sells under 460, you know, I'm treating this range here as kind of a scalp range. Any sells under 457.58, and I'm bearish on the day for a retest in this level. Again, I talked about this beginning of class. Any retest of this level here, I'm trying to buy the dip across the board on names because I'm looking to see if this holds. I would expect it to hold. It's a big old level. It's a level from last week. Any sells under, similar to SPY 525, and where we're going to retrace, I don't know, but my thesis, my plan is we trace back in these levels down here. Does that make sense, everybody? Hopefully. So let's see where we're at, you guys. Like I said, if we don't gap up huge, expect my watch list to continue or at least start back up tomorrow. I know people were DMing me asking about that. I was just trying to protect some ports and save the ports a little bit, you guys, a little bit of risk management for you guys. Part of trading is being patient, not taking a trade. It's okay to sit on your hands. You don't have to take the opening 5-minute candle. Markets are open like 5.5, 6 hours a day, you guys. Be patient. With that, you guys, I'm in the chat. I appreciate you guys all sticking around. Great request. Really good ones, you guys. Amazon, Dell, SMCI, NVIDIA. What do we have? Tesla. Some really good steps, you guys. Play smart, you guys. Keep your position size in check. Keep your ear out for news. And best of luck to you guys. DMs are always open, you guys. If you have questions, send me a DM. I will always help you guys. So with that, you guys, I'm in the chat. Have a great night, and I will see you all tomorrow.